Hi, welcome to today's series where we're going to be focusing on the nervous system and doing some slides, glides, and flossing of the nerves so that you can feel so much better in the things that you do and particularly in your stretches. Now, we're going to be using a wall. If you don't have a wall for some of it, it's not a problem, but for others, when we do the arms, that is going to be a requirement. So we'll start just by taking a seat up against the wall so that you've got some feedback for your body. So ideally, you're going to have your head supported, your shoulders and your pelvis. Now, if you find it difficult to sit in a position like this, then fold something up underneath you so you can prop your height of your body up, and that'll give you access to a little bit more length through the legs. So we're beginning with our toes. So we're just going to go into pulling the feet back towards you and then pushing the feet away and pointing down into the toes. So we pull and we push and we pull and we push. And if you want to, you can do like I am too, include your hands doing the same movement that your legs are doing or your ankles are doing, because these two parts of our body are quite connected. They sort of mirror each other in many ways. From here, we're going to go into a toe crunch and scrunch and then spread wide and open. So we're going to curl all the fingers and toes in and then spread them nice and wide. And curl and spread, and we'll do another two like that, curl and spread. So what is our nervous system? Well, it is our brain, our spinal cord, and then all the nerves that run through the body. From here, we're going to pull one foot toward you and push the other foot away, and then alternate that over. So drawing one side up and pushing the other one away. And if you want to, you can mirror again what you're doing with your hands and your feet, just to get a nice overall movement going. So you may notice that one side, as it pulls, will give you some tensioning around the back of the leg, and as it pushes, it'll give you a little bit of opening through the front of the ankle. And we'll do that another time to each side and then coming back. From here, we're going to send one knee into a bent position. So I've got my right foot flat onto the floor and my left foot out to the side. So I'm going to roll my foot out, roll my foot in. I'm going to hold at my top thigh so that I can get the least amount of movement from my legs. So I don't want to roll from my leg bone. I want to roll from my ankle joint. As you do that, you'll notice when you flick your foot out, there'll be sort of that pull of your foot toward you. As you let your foot go in, there'll be that curl, the pointing version. So don't excessively focus on the pull and the push or the point and the flex. Just focus on that foot going out and coming back in. And then let's take your right foot and put it towards the arch of the foot to the inside of your knee is the first place we're going to begin. So when I come forward with my weight in a moment, I'm going to place my hands now towards the floor and just shift my bottom back towards the wall for that little bit of touch behind me. So this one, you don't actually have to have a wall if you didn't have it today. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull our toes towards us. And as you do, you should feel that stretch coming through the back of the leg line. And then you're going to point your toes. Now, to put this system on absolute maximum stretch, what we would do is we would nod our head down towards our knee, pull the toes back, and the whole system is on alert. And then you would point your toe and look forward to release it. So we go maximum stretch, head down, toes toward you, and then toes away and head looking up. Now, I don't want to put myself through maximum stretch. So I want to do what we call flossing. So I'm going to pull on one side and pull on the other. So it's important to know that nerves don't stretch like muscles stretch. They glide through the layers of the muscles and the fascia. So we need it to be nice and sort of movable, kind of like dental floss. That's why we call it flossing, because we pull on one side and the dental floss moves, same with the nerve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my toes to me, but I'm going to let my eyes look up. And then I'm going to push the toes away and I'm going to let my head look down. And again, pull toes up, eyes look up. And push toes down, head looks down. And one more time, toes up, eyes up. And then toes down, eyes down. And then releasing out of that. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. But before you do, you should just be able to straighten the two legs, and you may already feel a difference between the two sides. I can share with you that my left leg is feeling very connected. It feels quite sort of loose and mobile, whereas my right leg is up off of the floor, my foot is slightly waved in. So notice what it is that you are experiencing in your body. So first one, I had my knee bent, my foot flat. You could take your leg out to the side if that feels better for you. So in this movement, we're going to do that ankle waving. So again, if you just give yourself a little bit of holding at the top of the leg so that you can work the ankle joints. So remember, nerves run all the way to the very end of every part of us. So the more we do this kind of work and we're focusing on it, the better information our brain is getting from the nerves to the brain via the spinal cord. It's an amazing system, and it happens in blitz seconds. All right, and then we're going to take that foot and put it onto the inside of your knee area. So we're going to do the maximum stretch first. So as you come forward, again, just find your wriggle position, have the hands lightly resting at your side, and you're going to pull your toes and you're going to drop your head. So remember, that's your super stretch. And then point your toes and lift your head. And pull your toes and drop your head. And then push your toes and lift your head. We'll do that one more time, pulling into maximum stretch and then pushing away. Now what we're going to do is the flossing. So we'll pull the toes towards us and keep our eyes looking up. And then we're going to point the toes down and drop the head low. And eyes up, toes up, and eyes down, toes down. And we'll do that 2 more times. Eyes up, toes up, and eyes down, toes down. And then last time as we pull and press all the way out. And then releasing from there. So again, if you set your 2 legs out in front of you, we didn't really move the leg. We didn't have to pull the leg toward us, but already I hope that you can find and feel that same sort of difference in your legs, like you have had a stretch. All right, so we're going to come up onto a hands position now. And what we're going to start with is just the hands facing forward underneath your shoulders and knees under the hips. We're going to take your feet and go into a little flex position, and we're going to rock ourselves backward towards our feet, just stretching out the base of the feet, and then rock yourself forward. And again, just traveling back and traveling forward. Now, this is a simple movement. You've done it plenty of times before. It's about to get a little bit more complicated as we take it into the stretch. So from here, we're going to flick the hands to face the opposite way. So now the fingertips are facing behind you. Now your stretch backward is going to really open up the front of your, or the underside of your forearm. So we rock ourselves back. Now, everything still has to remain in good form and then coming forward. So yes, of course, there's muscle stretching, fascia stretching, tendons, tissues, all of it, but we're also getting into this nerve stretch. We're going to meet this stretch again in standing just before the end of our session. So if you didn't have the wall, you could always do this as an alternative. And then one more time, taking it all the way and back. And then releasing out of that, feet going down. Bring your hands back to face forward position, and we're going to take ourselves into a twist. So threading the needle through towards one side and then coming back up. And we'll go to the other side. So just like everything in our body, we enjoy variability. So if you keep doing the same stretch day in, day out, your body's just going to get used to it. It's not going to actually make any change anymore. But if you start to change what you're doing, as regularly as possible, you'll start to feel how your body has to adapt all the time. One more time through. Now, with this next one, again, it's going to take a little bit of support and range of movement. So your choices are to get a block or a cushion or something if you can't reach the floor. But ideally, we're going to go down so that your shoulder can touch the ground and your head can touch the ground. From here, the hand that's on the floor is now going to go up towards the ceiling. It's going to spin and it's going to grab around to the opposite thigh. So I've got my hand hooked into my left crease of my hip area. And then from there, you'll probably feel your shoulder wants to roll forward. I'm going to ask you to open the chest and look up toward the ceiling and then relax out of that. And again, aim the shoulder back, eyes towards the sky, and then back down. So eyes are important through this movement because they are also nerve driven. The optic nerve is our second cranial nerve, so it's a pretty thick nerve. It's got a cool thing it crosses over. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to the body, so I like to share details like this. Anyway, and then undo your side like that, press your hand to the floor, and up we come. So we're going to go to the second side, feed your arm through. So be gentle with your body. Sometimes it doesn't feel the same as the other side. And then your hand on the mat goes towards the ceiling first. This might be enough. This might be all you can do. And then you're going to rotate that arm, grab around, and hold onto the top of your thigh. Just be in a relaxed position at first, and then start that shoulder peel and the eyes twisting up towards the ceiling, and then relaxing out of it. So driving the movement from eyes and shoulder, and you will feel some good stretching happening, of course. We've got a major nerve bundle that comes out of our neck and under our collarbone to give our arm a little bit of attention. So it's called the brachial plexus, and that's where we're starting to feel some cool things right now. And then releasing out of that, return your arm toward the floor, and then pressing yourself all the way back up into your start position. We're going to use the wall again and take a seat against it. So we're going to have our knees either bent if that's more comfortable for you, or if possible, let's take it into a diamond sit. So I'm going to take away the leg lengthening version of the stretch now, and I'm going to focus on the spinal stretch. So we're going to think of the brain on the inside, the spinal cord down the center. And as we fold forward, you're going to get that lovely stretch. So holding your hands just behind the back of the head, nod your head away from the wall and peel yourself down and lower your elbows to wherever they can go for you. We hold for a breath in and out, and then roll yourself back up into your stacked position. So we'll repeat that. Remember, the first moves often feel a little bit tight. So as you're coming down, you don't want to force anything. We never want to bounce in a move, but we're just feeling, again, like I said, that head getting nice and heavy. You're going to feel here, hopefully, the spinal cord sort of sliding up and forward towards the brain getting nice and heavy in the skull. And then as you come up, it's like the spinal cord is pulling down, kind of like the a blind, my roller blinds, that kind of pulling of a drawstring down until your head is up. So we've got one more time as we do that one, going into a little nod forward and rounding through the spine, elbows going to wherever they feel comfortable. And you may notice that with every repetition, maybe you can go a little further through your movement. And then again, peeling your spine all the way up to sitting. All right, so we're going to come back and take a lie down onto our back, and I'll have to move Bear just out the way a little bit, please, little one. And we're going to go into a stretch. So we're going to lie one leg out on the mat surface, and we're going to take the right knee, put the foot onto the thigh, and you're going to turn your knee down towards the floor. And as you do, those eyes are going to turn away from the knee. So I'm looking down my right hand side, and then I'm going to bring everything back together. And then send the right knee toward the floor as I send my eyes towards the opposite way, and then coming back. Now, if you have a little bit more range in your body and you want to give it a go, you can put your foot onto the floor instead of onto the thigh, and that might help you get a little further in your stretch. The stretch of the muscle is not what I'm after. I want that, again, mobility through our nervous system so that we can get some sliding and gliding. And then we'll release out of that, and then we'll go to the opposite side. So as we do, again, we pull the knee, start with your foot on the thigh first. So the first move, I'm not getting anywhere near to the floor with my knee. That's not my aim. My aim is just to see what I have available, and then coming back. With every repetition, I know my body is going to unwind a little more, so I'm going to get more and more range. So with my arms stretched out, again, I'm opening through my chest area, and then coming back. And again, if you feel like you want to put your foot on the floor instead, you can do that and aim your knee a little further to the ground, feeling like your shoulder is still staying close to the ground surface though. That's where you'll feel that really deep stretch. And then one last one, taking it all the way back. and then bringing it all the way forward again. All right, from here, we're going to bring ourselves up and twist around. And this is when we need our last time against the wall. So you could do this in kneeling. I'm going to do it in standing though. So as we come to stand, we've got two sides to do, and we're going to work through this open area of our body. So you're going to begin, I like thinking of the heel of my hand in line with my shoulder to start. My feet are directly underneath me, so I'm standing tall. I'm not leaning into the wall. I'm going to leave my arm where it is, and I'm just going to take a few steps away from my arm, spinning around, and that's going to produce a fantastic stretch all the way down my arm, into my fingers, into the middle of my palm. And then just double check your shoulder hasn't crept up. You want it to stay away and low, and then bringing yourself back. We move the heel of the hand up now, roughly in line with where the top of your ear would be, and then the same movement turning away. So with these stretches, you can look straight forward, which will give you a good stretch anyway, or you could turn your head further back, and that's going to produce even more stretch. So everything's available to you. You just have to figure out what your body is asking for or not asking for. Next height is in line with the top of the head. And then we're going to do the last version here as we peel our body around. And again, choose. Do you want to look more directly forward? Do you want to turn your head to the side? When you turn that head, boy, things change so much underneath you. And then coming back, I love to just make sure that my arm is nice and supported, slide it down the wall. And before I do the other side, I just pay attention to my left and my right side. The arm I've worked just feels longer, heavier, sort of just ready for more movement. The right side is sort of like agitated and wants to feel the same as the left. So we're going to go and give it that fun. So we'll start again, heel of hand in line with shoulder position. And then doing little steps away. You do not have to go very far. You're not doing a full circle around. The eyes turning will increase that stretch. Keeping your hand flat on the wall is important. Keeping your arms straight is important. Keeping your shoulder down is important. And then we go heel of hand to top of ear height. And again, doing your twist. So both sides feel very different to each other. For many, many reasons. You don't have to worry with why, but maybe you do know why. And it's okay. It's just important to get that experience of the differences. So we've got a heel of hand in line with head, and then again doing our twist. I find the head turn is just like the cherry on the cake. And then coming back to our center, slowly lowering the arm down the wall. So we're going to finish with a full roll down against the wall now. So feet just a little further forward in front of you as you begin with the head on the wall. You're going to slowly go crown of the head away. Feel how your body peels away from the wall, and let the sit bones slide up the wall as you make your way down. Now, depending on your ability to stretch through your body, you may need to bend your knees, and that's okay. And then rolling your spine all the way back up again to imprint onto the wall surface. So we did this movement a moment ago seated. Now we've included the length of the leg, so it is going to be a bit more challenging to the nerves. So as we go forward, there's still that feeling of the weight of the head going forward, the brain being heavy, the spinal cord getting lengthened and stretched, and all these beautiful nerves that run out of the spine down to the fingers and to the toes, all getting their moment, and then rolling your spine back up into upright shape. And then from there, I'm going to make my way down so that my puppy can sit in my lap to finish off where we began. And that's our session for today. And I hope you feel energized. I hope you feel open. I hope you feel something. You may even feel pretty relaxed. Whatever you feel, if you would like to, drop a comment below and let me know. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.